Hi, my name is Elizabeth, and this fall I'm going to Chester to study art therapy as my master's, and I'm really excited. But a lot of people constantly ask me, why did I pick the UK over a Canadian school to study art therapy? So in this video, I'm gonna break down why. This is why I didn't pick a Canadian school. Most of the schools in Canada, right off the bat, did not offer it as a master's. It was just a certification of art therapy. It wasn't really in as a depth as what I'm going to go study now in the UK. The first school that I actually looked at seriously in Canada was McGill. But honestly, short and sweet, I wasn't bilingual. I don't speak French, and you needed that as placement because if you're working with mental health, you need to be able to speak English and French. And I get that, so I just didn't even, off to the next basically. The second school I looked at realistically was Adler University in Vancouver. Unfortunately, it was an American school that's located in Vancouver. So right there, the tuition was way higher. And the second thing was, it's Vancouver, it was so expensive. Looking at rent, studio apartments, it was just out of my budget. It was like $3,000 a month, and I just didn't want to pay that much. The third school I seriously looked at, which would relate back to the first thing I said, Toronto Institute of Art Therapy. It is a good program, and I think if you're already a clinical therapist or a registered therapist, going there makes sense. But as someone that doesn't have that background, and I needed that and I wanted that, and I also wanted a master's, it didn't make sense. Also, it was located in Toronto, so I was also looking at rent that it was around like $2,000 to $3,000 for a studio apartment. And as someone, as a senior student, I'm a senior, I didn't want to live with roommates. It just wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to live on my own, so I wanted to look for a school that met all my needs. Everyone's needs are different. Another really interesting thing about the UK system that I found that I really liked was how standardized and structured it was. In the UK, even though art therapy is taught in many universities, they all communicate with each other to make sure they're on the same page, because the goal of everything is helping people help people, and I loved that idea. The next topic I'm going to talk about is housing. So as I said before, Vancouver and Toronto was just out of my budget. So you're probably asking, the pound is so much more than Canadian dollars, how are you affording the UK? Because I didn't pick London. I could not afford it even in my dreams. So I chose a university that was outside of the, like, our GTA version. I picked Chester, which is really out, it's kind of like Liverpool's here, Chester's here, Manchester's here, Wales is here. So my rent for my studio apartment, even though it's small, it's a whole apartment, my own bathroom and my own kitchen, I only paid $1,300 Canadian a month, and that is for a whole year. And internet and everything is included. I also have an honorable mention. I did look at a university in Cork, MTU. I did take a summer week-long art therapy course with them, and it was amazing. I highly recommend taking that course if you're curious about going into art therapy, because that course made me realize this is the career for me. This is what I want to learn and grow and evolve into. So I highly recommend taking that course. It's 1 week in the summer. They only accept about 60 people, but it was life-changing, and I highly recommend it. And the reason why I didn't apply or go into that school was honestly, in general, living in Cork full-time and their tuition was also a little bit out of my price range. And I wanted a city where I could be a little more transit, or country, so that's why another reason why I picked the UK. I am such a big traveler. I've lived in Asia, I've lived in different places, and so going to school internationally didn't really scare or intimidate me. I never thought about doing it, to be honest, but then I was curious about it, so I decided to dive into it, and I'm very happy with the choice I made. I don't know how the schooling is gonna be. I haven't started yet. I still have 17 days till I leave to England. I am not nervous, but I guess I am a little bit. I'm just not processing it. This was the video. This is the breakdown I wanted to share. It's my first YouTube video, so you guys gotta give me some grace. I don't know how well I did. I think I ranted a little much, but I stayed under 5 minutes, so good for me. Let me know how you want me to make my next video. It was really fun to make this one. If you have any questions about Chester University or doing my master's in art therapy, book recommendations, or anything like that, you can leave a comment below. I'd love to start a conversation. And yeah, I'll make some other videos on stuff I feel like I get asked a lot about. All right.